Hi, my name is Jacqueline Helman. I am a teacher librarian at Bedford Road Collegiate. So the question that was asked of me is, how is school different from today? Well, first of all, I grew up in a rural community, a very small school with K to 12 of about 200 students. And so it was very different from what I see in high schools in the city. For one thing, I was bussed into, with a big old yellow bus when I would go to school. So it was an hour coming into school, an hour leaving, those kind of things. But in terms of classes, we had some of the same classes, but the biggest thing that's changed for me is I noticed how computers and technology, remember when I graduated back in, I shouldn't admit this, but I graduated back in 1981, computers weren't on the scene at all. And so students, in my time, we didn't understand what a computer could do for us. And nowadays, of course, kids have computers and they're able to communicate, collaborate, work in all different ways and functions using a computer. So that's been a big, big change. In terms of socially, I don't think kids have really changed that much. We all want to hang out with our friends. We want to have fun and do things on the weekend. There are some definite changes. When I grew up, it wasn't that there wasn't drugs, but really there wasn't a lot of drugs. We didn't ever talk about it. It was older people that might have tried it, but they were kind of on the fringes. We were pretty naive about those kind of things. Yes, alcohol was around and teens would, have parties and so on, but you have to remember that we lived in a very small community, and so we respected each other and we cared about each other, so you wouldn't let your friends go off if they had been drinking too much or those kind of things. So life was, our parents were pretty strict with us. We didn't get to do a lot of the same things, and we didn't hang out at malls because we didn't have malls to hang out. So we were pretty straightforward, pretty straight-laced by kids' comparison today, maybe. On the other hand, I don't think kids have changed in the sense of that they still want to do well. Kids still care about each other. It's just a different way of looking at the world. They're exposed to so many things that we weren't exposed to. We had only 3 channels on our TV. Cable wasn't around at that time. Even satellite was in its infancy stages. So, I didn't watch a lot of TV because, well, it was pretty boring. And I know it's dating me, but in terms of age, but we didn't get color until the 70s, and so really TV wasn't a big attraction. We didn't have gaming. I remember the first time an Atari game came out, and it was that, it's hilarious now, but it was like 2 sticks and you got a ball going back and forth, and we thought that was pretty big. But those kind of things. So when I think of growing up, we did our sports, we still had our cars, you still wanted to date somebody, graduation was a big deal. Those things are still around, still really popular. And so I think as teenagers, we really haven't changed that much, but in terms of the technology and the bigger world, I think it has changed a lot.